You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 407 of Podketeers. This week we wonder what exactly is happening with the Morbius critic score. Was it just a bad comedy act? Andrew gives us spoilers for a movie that he's never seen before. We decide the Pizza Planet needs a commercial. A new show featuring Bob Gurr is coming to the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana, California. The Muppets are coming to Holey Moley. Encanto is getting featured at Disneyland in a really fun way. Plus, we talk Moon Knight Episode 1. There are spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, please come back when you do. Or if you don't care, then listen away. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything that we talked about in this episode. You can join the conversation over on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers. But we'd love it if you join us over on our Discord server. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/407 and click on the Discord logo, or you can click on the link pinned in our IG stories. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, or as we call them, our podcast, Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers after show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. Alright, so we are going to get this episode started, and if this is your first time hanging out with us, we hope that you like the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for some time now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 407 of Podketeers. Probably the closest we've ever gotten to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was good. It did sound good.
Have you ever seen like the TikTok or Instagram reel videos that people are posting where it's like, okay, it's a trust exercise. Close your eyes, and we're going to swing at you, and if we slap you, it's because we're not in sync.
No.
Well,
that sounds like violence.
It is. It is like brothers and sisters.
Sounds like an
and
excuse to just slap somebody.
It's
probably
like the water
is. I hated that.
So there's two. There's two of these. There's either the one where you're supposed to dodge the slap or something, and then they have one where there's a water bottle hanging from a rope, and they start like swinging it, and you're supposed to like dodge it with your eyes closed or while you're blindfolded and stuff. And, you know, some of them I think do really well, and there's others that obviously become highlight reels and get thrown around the internet, you know? So, yeah, it's a thing.
With the water bottle every time.
Not every
water
time.
Bottle effect.
Not every time, but it happens. Why did we start talking about this?
I don't know.
Oh, because we're all in sync. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We would not get hit. That's the point. We would not get hit, and we would not get hit by the water bottle because we are in sync. Boom! Nailed it.
Bye.
Full circle. That was a really long way to say hi.
Hi.
Hola.
Welcome to our show.
Yeah. So there's movie stuff going on. You know, I do want to talk a little bit about Morbius because obviously that movie just recently came out. But I do want to share that I don't know if any of you have seen it or if anybody listening has had an opportunity to watch it yet. But one, Free Guy. Free Guy, great. Saw it several weeks ago. Really fun story. Pretty fun movie. I really, really enjoyed it. But also The Atom Project on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope. Like, I kind of knew a little bit about it. I knew that it was going to involve some kind of time travel. But the way that they told the story, the kid in the story that they used, it was pretty good.
Yeah. You hit it right there. The story is just it is time travel, but you're like, wait, how is this going to happen? And then they show how it works in this situation. I'm trying not to put as much, but it's such a unique story because with time travel, I guess I could say the general rule is you're not supposed to mess with anything. And that's across the board. But they found a way to work with it. And it's really cool. Now, the kid, oh my gosh, I'm sure he was directed to act a certain way because he's on it. He is so good. Do we want to say... No, let's just say he does his part very, very, very well. And when you see the movie, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then when you see the little bits of the charm come out, it's just magic. Like, dang, they did really good with casting.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun movie.
Yeah,
So I haven't seen it. But I was gonna say I haven't seen it, but I can give spoilers if you want. I can make up some spoilers if we want to just give some spoilers.
Oh yeah,
but...
do that.
Okay. So there's Ryan Reynolds and a kid and a lady, and they're in a Jeep, and they drive through the forest and hit a Terminator. You remember Terminator? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
He's in a Terminator.
So far, 100% correct.
Yep. He comes out and he says, I was gonna do an Arnold impression, but I can't. So he comes and he's like, "I'm trying to find my son," and that's how Arnold sounds like it all. But he's trying to find his son, and so he gets in the Jeep with them, and they go driving and trying to find Arnold's son, who also had time traveled into the year 2040, is where this movie takes place. You don't know that at the beginning, but it kind of comes to fruition later. It's
in the first 7 minutes, so it's okay to talk about it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And so they're driving down the Jeep, and they're going through the desert and the forest and the snow and everything. It's like a big road trip movie.
Every terrain.
Yeah, every terrain. There's no
Nice.
Ewoks. Come on, that's ridiculous, Heyzen. Come on, this is not a Star Wars movie. This is a Netflix original directed by Ryan Reynolds. How would there be Ewoks? Come on, get serious here now.
So okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay, so they finally get to Italy, of course.
Okay.
They drove to Italy because the oceans are dried up by now, so they're able to drive to Italy. And they find the Terminator's son, who turns out to be, everybody knows, say it together, Benedict
Terminator.
Wong. Benedict Wong is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Not the Terminator.
No, not the... Okay. And so he's there.
Grogu.
And Grogu. Yes, that's it. That's his character name. But
Okay.
no relation to the Mandalorian at all.
Oh.
And so after he finds his son, they team up and they form like a... what's that thing like in Power Rangers when they all lock together? They form one of those, like a the
Megazord.
Yeah, like a Megazord. So it's like twice as Terminator, and then they go and they kill everybody, and it's the end. I'm just kidding. That's not what happens. It got
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
did.
out of everything that you said, you nailed like 98% of it.
And then Samuel L. Jackson's in there too.
And he starts yelling about the snakes. That was the funniest part.
He plays Santa.
No, he's one of Santa's helpers.
No,
see, they want you to think he's Santa.
Santa L. Jackson.
Well, see, now I'm giving too much away. Now I'm giving too much away. Yeah.
So those are the spoilers for what was the movie called again?
The Adam Project.
The Adam Project that I've definitely seen. And so tell all your friends that it's about Terminator, Grogu, and Megazord.
Nice.
That's
you know
nailed
what?
it.
This is the start of a new little segment, and it's going to be Andrew tells movies in the most wrong way.
This is actually the reason I brought this up was I used to do this in college all the time. People would just say I would explain a movie that I've never seen, or like I've just seen the trailer for. So that I have some experience doing that. A little rusty, but yeah, we can make it a regular segment. If we run out of stuff to talk about on an episode, I'll explain a movie.
Nice. Well, again, you nailed about 98% of it, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
you must be
I was
clairvoyant.
Pretty close.
But I think Mel kind of nailed it
Thank you
with
very
what she
much.
said earlier, that it's a unique way to tell about time travel. And the way that they found to work around what seemingly everyone else has set up as the barriers about why you shouldn't, why you should, how to protect the future and the past and everything. They did a really good job in telling it this in this story. So if you haven't seen it, The Adam Project, definitely recommend it. And I mean, it's like people are kind of happy that Sean Levy is the director of both Free Guy and The Adam Project. And people are kind of psyched that he's coming back to direct Ryan Reynolds a third time in Deadpool 3. So I don't know if that's like a well-known hat trick in the movie industry where people are like, oh, wow, he's doing 3 times with the same lead actor. I don't know if they have a name for that, but people are pretty happy about the fact that Sean Levy's coming back for Deadpool 3.
I'll take it. I mean, there's Tim Burton. It's like, bring, him and everybody else. Oof, all the movies. So, yeah.
That's true, huh? Tim Burton always has like the same leading 5 or 6 people in his films.
Yep.
A lot of people, do you know that they just had their
Christopher Nolan effect.
Yeah, they have their company of actors that they just they trust and they know
works.
how to direct and they know how to work with. It's
Ryan Murphy does that a bit too.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Who's
Charlie
Nolan's
Murphy.
crew?
Christopher Nolan, he always goes back to using, well, if he can't get the Tangerine, he always gets back to I forget that guy's name, the butler. Or
Michael
whatever.
Caine's been in
Michael
like 3 or 4
3 or 4.
Nolan movies. Christian Bale's been in a few.
The girl that from Inception, he uses her a bit too. The one that plays Maul. I forget her name, but he's used that actor too.
Okay.
So I think he goes back to the well a little bit. Justin Gordon-Levitt, I think, is in a couple of movies.
Yeah, he was in Inception and The Dark Knight Rises and.
So I think he kind of goes back to the well. A little bit.
There's a one where he was like a French guy.
That's
Joseph
right.
Gordon-Levitt. That was maybe, I don't know. I'm making stuff up. I think I might be getting movies confused together.
Me too.
Conflated.
Well, I'll tell you this much:
Anyway.
if I ever directed a film, you would always be a part of all of my films.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
cool.
sweet.
Set design.
Leading
craft,
directors.
craft services, and
Everything.
security,
Off screen.
Everything.
PA, unpaid intern.
That guy that holds the boom mic. I'll do it.
Those are called grips, Larry. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to put it in
I'm
people's
pretty
face.
sure.
Hey, so since we're talking about movies and the maybe Marvel / not Marvel tie-in, Morbius. Has anybody watched Morbius yet?
No.
No.
No. Okay, I don't know if any of you have heard anything about it yet, but I'm understanding from what I've read so far that Sony may have pulled a little bit of a bait and switch with people that went to watch it, because in their trailers and in the promo stuff that was out, it involved a lot of Spider-Man imagery. There was some like things tagged on the wall that said like murderer and stuff like that with Spider-Man, and so there was seemingly this link to a Spider-Man, and most people thought that it was going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man because of what ended up happening like at the end of No Way Home. But it sounds like they took a lot of that out of the film, and that there's no connection now to anything. No, that's not true. I think there is a Venom connection in the film, like something that was originally in the trailer. However, it was relegated to the end credits, I believe.
Yeah, I think I read something about there's like the spoilers ahead if you want to watch Morbius. Something in the end credits where like they go to prison, go to a prison and, Michael Keaton's there. And I think, that's where you get the cameos from the other like people that you might see to kind of tie it into Spider-Man if they wanted to, like if Marvel wanted to be like, oh yeah, here we go, pull it in, but it kind of gives them that leeway to do it either way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's tons of films that will do this, right? That in the process of trying to promote a film, they'll show you things in the trailer that sometimes don't make it into the final cut, and sometimes you have to watch like an extended version of the film, or they decide that in order for the story to play out a little bit better and it doesn't like give away the plot or anything, like 15 minutes in, they decide to take a few things out, and they end up on like special features or something, or deleted scenes when you buy the Blu-ray or whatever the case is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this, I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation, which is why I was hoping that somebody had read about it or seen the film, because if what people are saying is true, that's just this kind of shady, right? That they would promise you a bunch of connections to the MCU, or did they start and then like in the end Marvel's like, yeah, we don't want to be a part of this? It seems weird to me. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of bait and switch kind of thing, I guess. But I just looked up on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has from the critics, a 16%. So very, very low. But from the audience score, it has a 70%. So, take that as you will. Not critics don't know everything, but then again, this movie just might not be for you either. 70%'s, not horrible on Rotten Tomatoes for a movie like this. So, let's see what other movies are out right now. Sonic the Hedgehog has a 65% from critics. So, there's something.
Apparently, the second Sonic is better than the first one.
Well, because it's got tails.
It looks better.
And Knuckles.
I mean, it looks fun.
And Knuckles.
Yeah.
It's one of the films I'm looking forward to seeing.
I was gonna say, I don't want to be like so negative, but I haven't heard. Gosh, it's crazy to hear that, because what I was hearing was it wasn't as gory, but it had some laughs in it, and I'm like, whoa, that's different. I didn't expect that. I don't know what to expect from this film, but I'm just curious, because now that I've heard what you guys are saying, I wonder how the scores are compared to Eternals, because that was received real badly.
I can tell you.
And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anyone put the two together, so that's what I'm just curious. Like,
so Morbius has a 16% from critics. Eternals has a 47% from critics. Morbius has a 70% from audience. Eternals has a 78% from audience. So
that's trippy.
I think you're onto something, Melissa. That's 70%.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's trippy. Huh. I mean, who knows? We'll see when I watch it eventually.
I have yet to see it, but I'm a pretty big Jared Leto fan. So I'm just going to go with hopefully it's good, because I like the roles he plays in, and that's calling back to his 30 Seconds to Mars days, like him playing in that band. But there's not a lot of there's not a lot of musicians that could go to actors. Like,
right.
It's a weird thing to do, but he's done pretty good in his other roles. But we saw him, as a Joker, and some people had things about that too. They're like, it was good, but it wasn't great because he didn't get a lot of time on that one. But he also, side note, turn it back to Disney, he's trying to bring back Tron, which, how could you not love a guy who's trying to bring back Tron?
Right.
So that's why I'm hoping Morbius is good too.
Was the Joker in Birds of Prey?
No. I don't think so.
Huh, interesting.
I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I'm going to double check right now.
Birds of Prey. Yeah. That's funny. I had not heard that people said there was laughs in Morbius. I can't imagine what that would be like. Like, he's on stage and he's like, who are these villagers that have these wooden stakes? And where do they find the time to come after me?
Morbius is Jerry Seinfeld.
He might be.
Wow.
Who knows?
does a tight 15-minute set in the middle of the movie.
That might be where the laughs are coming from. Who knows?
Yeah, they're just like, real quick, we're just gonna cut aside, and he's gonna pick up a mic and stand in front of a brick wall.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess once we finally watch it, or one of us watches it, I don't know if, we can report back, and we can, we can see how it actually was, and we'll see if it deserves the critic score that it has, because 17% is pretty freaking low.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if there's such a big, span between the regular audience one too. Like it almost feels like they got the critics angry and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll show you."
Maybe. Oh, also,
They're like, "Oh yeah, we hate critics in the movie." They're just like, "Movie critics are awful," and everybody's like,
I mean, who are these movie critics and what are they saying about our film?
That was the stand-up.
Nope. What were you saying, Mel?
Oh, that the Joker did not come out of that movie.
Oh, he
For
didn't
Birds
come
of
out
Prey.
it.
No.
Okay.
He wasn't in it at all. Okay.
All right.
He
Well,
wasn't damaged in that movie.
so here's what we'll do. We'll put the question out to everyone listening. If you've had an opportunity to watch Morbius, let us know how it was, because there seems to be a huge discrepancy between the critic score and the audience score. And, you usually expect it to be 15, 20 points off, but come on, man, like 60 points off? That's insane. That's a huge dip for a critic score. So, you can join the conversation over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But we'd love for you to join us over on Discord. If you haven't had an opportunity to join us, you can hit the link in our pinned Instagram story, and we can talk about it there. We're curious to know how good or how bad Morbius was. Yeah.
And who's your favorite musician actor, to piggyback on Larry's thing? Is it Jared Leto? Is it Mark? Is it
Keira Knightley.
Is it Lady Gaga? Is it Shaq? I mean, anybody. Yeah, everybody forgets Shaq is a musician and a basketball player and an actor and an entrepreneur. Come on, people. It's Shaq. No.
Shaq.
Kazam. So yeah, I don't know.
Look, if
Elvis was an actor and a musician, I've looked up a bunch of actor musicians
That's a good one.
on
Elvis.
Google. Jared Leto's like 30th on the list.
If you ask TikTok, okay, Shazam did not exist.
No, Kazam.
Oh, Kazam. Got it.
Kazam.
Right.
Shazam
Shazam is Chuck, right?
That's the yes, but they were saying Shazam
The genie.
Yeah, they're saying the Mandela effect thing was Sinbad.
Oh,
the comedian
Sinbad.
played Shazam, a genie. But there's a Shaq. Yeah, there's a Shaq movie, Kazam.
I mean,
anyway.
it's Shaq in a movie. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey everybody, I'm Shaq.
No.
All right, I think we should move on.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Can't wait to have the Shaq. What's it called, that pizza?
Shakaroni.
The
Shakaroni.
Shakaroni.
I bet you that's what it is.
Shakaroni and cheese.
I can't.
You know what a Disneyland needs? It needs Pizza Planet pizza commercial
But by Shaq.
by Shaq.
Come on down to Pizza Planet. We got video games and we got
little aliens coming out of the machine.
There's
We
some
got the
little
claw.
Buzz and Woody running around. We got a yellow truck and it doesn't work very good. We got a Shakaroni.
All right. Well, since we're talking about films, we should cap it off with this: that on the day that this episode releases, tickets will go on pre-sale for Multiverse of Madness. So if that is a film that you have been looking forward to the way that we have, that is the day. What theaters are going to be doing pre-sale? Everything? Do we know?
I believe so. It just said tickets go on sale that day.
Well, there you go. If you were anticipating getting your tickets, then would be the time.
Tickets coming soon on Fandango.
Fandango! Hashtag not sponsored.
It didn't give me a date, so
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're ahead of Fandango right now.
Fandango.
All
I
right.
don't think that was the Fandango song. I don't
I don't
know.
think it is
That's
either, but that's okay.
alright.
That's okay.
It can be now.
It can, totally. So I don't know where to take this because there's two fun other things that are going to be happening soon. So let's go with Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Bob Gurr is coming to the Bowers Museum.
Yeah.
So Bob Gurr is going to be part of a thing at the Bowers Museum. It's called Building Disneyland, an evening with the legendary Bob Gurr. It's going to be happening on May 7th. Bowers Museum is located in Santa Ana, California. If you're interested, we'll put a link in the blog post for the episode. It's over at Fandom Productions. But I have to tell you, man, I've had an opportunity to be a part of several things that Bob is a part of. There's tons of stories that I've had an opportunity to hear. He's been to a couple of our art walks, as a matter of fact. He was a guest as a part of the art walk, which was great. The entire evening is going to be hosted by Imagineer or former Imagineer and historian Tom Morris. Tom is also super knowledgeable. He's a fun follow. I follow him on Twitter, which is where he's most active. I tend to never post on Twitter, but I tend to follow things on Twitter, and I tend to follow people on Twitter, so I, kind of hear the buzz and the chatter. But this is, it seems like it's going to be a really fun event. Tickets are $49, and it looks like the doors open at 5:30. I hope I get an opportunity to go. I'm pretty excited, though, because I don't know if you guys remember, but last year they did an evening with Bob Gurr up in Canada, and they recorded it. There was like a Kickstarter thing that they ended up doing, and you had the opportunity to be like a producer and all that stuff as part of the Kickstarter. So we, kicked down a little bit on the Kickstarter as well. So we're going to be listed as part of the producers through Kickstarter for the project. It was an evening with Disney legend Imagineer Bob Gurr. It looks like because of everything that happened with the pandemic, things had slowed down and trying to get things fulfilled and, trying to get Bob all of the stuff that he was going to sign, because there was a lot of things that you could get as a backer for the project, like signed posters and all sorts of stuff like that. So I got a couple of updates recently that looks like things are finally moving forward. The last update was from about a week ago, where Bob was signing a bunch of stuff that were part of the stretch goals, and like the pins and everything that were a part of it are supposed to be going out by the end of this month. So
nice.
Yay! I'm pretty excited to finally be getting that one. So details for the Building Disneyland thing that's going to be happening at the Bowers Museum, head on over to podketeers.com/407 if you're interested in finding out more information about that. Let's kind of take a hard right turn into this one, because this is super fun. And Andrew, you brought up that one of my favorite shows is also going to be bringing on some very special guests that I happen to enjoy a lot as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
I think Melissa's the one who brought it up originally, but I will definitely talk about it because the Muppets are coming to Holey Moley. Yay! The Muppets, him, Kermit and Miss Piggy and I don't know, New Zealand
Spanky and Alfalfa.
What? Yeah, that's the Little
Ralph
Rascals.
Malph, Potsy.
That's Happy Days.
Bart, Lisa, Millhouse.
Simpsons.
Wait, what? All right, I'll let you keep talking then. You seem to have a handle on it.
Rizzle and Rizzle. That's
nice.
His new name, Rizzle.
It's contagious.
Hello, welcome to my park. And the Muppets, you know them, you love them, you can't get enough Muppets. Coming to Holey Moley this season. It's their 4th season on ABC. I think it's a summer show, mini golf competition. It's kind of like if you haven't seen, it's like a mix between mini golf and like Wipeout. You gotta mini golf and then run through obstacles. Muppets are going to be guest hosting or guest commentating. It's got Rob Riggle and Joe Tessitore. Produced by basketball player guy. I forgot his
Steph
name.
Curry.
Curry.
Yeah, Stephen Curry. They call use his full name on the thing. And so it looks like it's premiering May 3rd on ABC. So hopefully they trot out some lesser used Muppets, or maybe we get some teasers for the new Muppet projects that are in the works, because that would be good for me.
For all of us.
For everyone.
Yep. It would make the world a better place.
I think they should get, like, instead of just get rid of Rob Riggle and the other guy and put in Statler and Waldorf.
Yes.
And they could just be this.
If that doesn't happen, that is a lost opportunity.
Yep, it is.
Did you see that shot? He's totally horrible.
Oh, look at the guy in the Goofy mask.
Goofy mask? That's his face.
Oh, sorry, lady.
Nice.
That's the Muppet Vision 3D.
You know, if we want to do another segment, there's another one. We watch things and we comment as Statler and Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like great FGP Patreon goals for Patreon. You want us to get us a little
Put it on
silly.
the list. Put it
There
on the
we
list.
go. Andrew reads movie things. Statler Warner.
Boom. On a post-it now.
Heyzen.
Mel and Andrew, or Mel and Larry, have you had an opportunity to watch Holey Moley yet?
I've seen a few episodes. I don't really watch it a lot, so when Andrew said I brought it up, I'm like, wait, I don't watch
I think you
this.
brought up the Muppets, the Muppet
did.
thing. I think you told me about it originally, told us about it originally, but that's okay.
Maybe, but
Because it's
forget.
Muppets. I don't know. Somebody brought it up. Who knows? Maybe it was Heyzen. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was Maybelline. I don't know.
All over the place. And it was me that bring
So
up
Larry,
Holy
was it Larry?
Because I've watched one season of Holey Moley before.
I've watched all the seasons of Holey Moley, but it was Larry.
Because I like Rob Riggle.
Larry,
That's what I mentioned.
Larry is Maybelline. We all have
And I'm
bad
looking
memories.
forward
It
to
was Larry.
It was bad.
Oh my
Just a hazy one.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it. Pepe, I want to see the prawn, and then Miss Piggy has like a little trailer she did where she makes fun of Rob Riggle, accusing him of being a predator.
Now you're
And-
saying all this. Now I remember, like, it's
Yeah.
all flooding back. Larry said all of this.
And then,
coming back to
I can't wait to
you.
hear Fozzie jokes. That's what I want to hear. Fozzie puns on all the stuff that I'm thinking that are going to get booed at or kicked out. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have to like put Dr. Teeth Electric Mayhem because that's the new series is gonna be the Electric Mayhem series.
True.
So
For sure.
Yeah.
maybe they'll be the house band or something for Holey Moley. I don't know.
I just want the chickens too.
Yeah, chickens are great.
Ah.
They could be an obstacle, maybe.
Yeah, that would be
Ooh.
funny.
Yeah.
That would be
Muppet
good.
obstacles, Muppet everything. Just how about just the Muppets are playing the mini golf too?
Yeah,
It's
why
just
not?
all Muppets. The whole season's just all Muppets.
Look, I don't think there's gonna be many people that would object to that, but
Yeah, just more Muppets.
yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got to the bottom of who actually brought it up first.
It was Larry.
So no, I thought it was Maybelline, but
It
okay.
wasn't Maybelline. It was Larry.
It was Larry the whole time.
It's all good.
Larry was born with it.
It was a good mystery. Paid off.
All right. Let's take it over to the parks a little bit because there is a change coming to It's a Small World.
Yeah, before that, though, Heyzen, we should really talk about... You know who we should talk about, right?
Bruno?
Yeah, no, not Bruno. We're talking about Bruno later. We should talk about those great, group of listeners that help us support the show. You know them? Remember those guys?
Of course
Remember
I
that
know
group?
them. They're our fairy godparents.
Yeah, those guys. Oh, I might have forgot about them. Maybe you should remind me.
Well, let me remind everybody.
Okay.
Our podcast fairy godparents are also known as the FGP Squad. They're a wonderful group of listeners that help us out with a monthly contribution via Patreon. If you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, you can head over to podketeers.com/FGP for more information. On that page, you will find a list of some of our top contributors, some information on the FGP Squad, and a link to our Patreon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. But being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks like access to our happy hour calls, additional content, random giveaways, and all sorts of other stuff. So again, any questions, please feel free to reach out. And to all of the members of the FGP Squad family, we just want to say thank you for your continued support. And our next happy hour call is coming up very soon. So stay tuned to Instagram, Discord, and Patreon for the announcement because it's coming up. We miss you.
Yeah. Now we can talk about Bruno.
All right. So some stuff is happening in the parks. Mel, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, because I know this.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Small World. We're going to see a fun little change, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be able to see this. We're going to see the facade of Small World be casita, and you're going to see tiles react in a way, and we're going to see casita pretty much come to life in front of us. And from what I gather, it's not going to be as long as the holidays, when we have the projection for that. But that's okay. I'm okay with this. It's Encanto. I'm sorry if you're over it. I am not. I am excited. I can't wait to
been like
talk
a
about
month.
Bruno.
It's it's not been out that long.
No.
Frozen
I know.
Fever lasted like 11 years, so it's okay.
It sure did.
It's been like a
Yeah.
month. I tell you what, everybody's love it. I just did. I'll say fortunate enough. I don't know if that's the right word or not, or my feelings on it. But I worked a middle school, elementary school talent show on Friday, and of the 25 acts, like 4 or 5 of them were Encanto. So
Nice.
it was like, people were hula hooping to it and dancing to it, and there was a lot more. I didn't know hula hoop was so popular. There was 3 hula hoop acts in this
Really?
talent
Just
show.
curious. How
Wow.
you worked that in?
You
Is it
just-
gonna be? Is it the balancing song? Is that it?
No, they just
They're
like
gonna
play
play
the song and then hula hoop to it, and they throw it up in the air and then catch it. And
I
then
thought it had
hula
like
hoop.
some theme to it, like they were
No.
making it like a boo. Poor kids, I'm all ripping them. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I'm sure none of them listened to it. I didn't mention the school or anything. So, but yeah, it was. It's everywhere. It's penetrating everywhere. They were all excited to do it. Everybody's doing dances to all the music. They one of them was like a remix where they put 2 of them together. It was it's a whole thing. So I'm sure plenty of people are going to be excited to see this projection show.
That's
And the
awesome.
coolest thing is that this is actually going to start next Monday, so the 11th.
Oh, okay.
And it says for limited time, so I'm guessing by summer, so Memorial Weekend maybe?
Probably until they decide to put something else in.
yeah.
I would.
Yeah. We'll see. But I thought, okay, it's a good run for a while.
Yeah.
The Main Street Electrical Parade starts a week after that, right? Or like 2 weeks after? Like the 22nd?
Week after, no, a little more than a week on
Yeah.
the 22nd, yeah.
Yeah, it starts on the 22nd. So considering that it looks like we're going to have some Encanto characters and like Casita represented on the new Main Street Electrical Parade float, I mean, it does make sense that at least for the time that the new version of MSCP is there, that they would have this happening on the It's a Small World facade.
Yeah, it gives it a good connection.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It looks good. I wonder if they're gonna do the whole song, because you said it wasn't gonna be as long, right?
Right, that's what it says. It's just a small little thing. So it's just about it. They only mention, we don't talk about Bruno. So they don't mention any other songs. So who knows? I mean, it could be they'll have an intro and we'll see how that goes, and maybe an outro. We'll see.
Hi, I'm Mirabelle.
But for sure, we'll make sure to take video. We will report back, of course. So
You know what would be super cool? You know how they just added her to Frontierland?
Mhm.
Like, what if maybe they do have her announce it, but what if it's the actual Mirabel that comes out and introduces everything, and they're doing like a thing in front of It's a Small World, going along with the projections and going along with the song and everything.
Like a little show.
Yeah.
that would be cute.
Disney,
That would be really cute.
where's my check?
Sounds expensive. That sounds expensive.
It's okay.
no.
4 passes, 5 passes. How many passes do we need? Let's see. There's
10.
There's like 2.
I was gonna say this
4,
story was
6,
the
8.
biggest
Okay, 10.
clickbait
Fine.
I've had from Disney in 10 years. Because the way I read it was like Encanto, Small World. I was like, what?
Like Encanto's taking
No.
over. It's a small world.
That's
They're
immediately- I was like,
demolishing. It's a small world.
Picture those like
Putting
spit
it
takes. That was me at lunch. That was like just spitting
Oh,
out.
no.
Never. But then, yeah, I read the article and I was like, okay, that's fine.
That new projection show coming to Disneyland Resort is what the title of the article should say.
Yes.
But tell us
That
how you
was-
really feel, Larry.
No, I just got freaked out. I mean, how do you not get freaked out when you hear that, like, of the history of Disney? It could be, you just see the main news line, everyone's doing it on purpose. Like,
I wouldn't
Encanto.
be so excited if Small World was being taken over
Right?
by Encanto. I'm
That's
okay with the
literally-
facade.
Holiday overlay?
Thank you.
No?
Huh?
Sure, I guess.
Holiday
Yeah,
overlay? I mean, I don't
Cool
think
with
it would take over full time, but what if they did like a
What's the holiday?
holiday overlay or something?
Like a timed holiday overlay, but
Yeah.
Encanto only, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Ooh.
Like kind of the Haunted Mansion with
Right.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
But Encanto.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
if you're telling me that main line, I freak out. That's immediately.
No.
It's like,
Yeah.
no.
I can understand that. If
Yeah.
I would
Encanto takes over Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, jeez.
what?
That,
That's why
That
it's
might-
closed right now. Clickbait article. Make it right now.
Boom, do it.
10 Encanto Easter eggs going into its in Pirates of the Caribbean.
wow. And new segment for the Patreon.
Fake Easter eggs on attractions.
Big Easter eggs.
It's
They're
gonna
like,
be the
yo
anti.
ho, yo ho, we don't talk about Bruno.
Oh.
It's the anti armchair Imagineering where we deconstruct and we add
Oh my
fake
gosh,
Easter eggs
things
to
that you
stuff.
wouldn't want to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Oh, it's funny.
That should be our April Fool's episode, but
Dang, that
we're a little late on that one next year.
Right. Yeah. I tend
Armchair
to
Imagineering,
stay.
but for bad things.
I tend to stay off of social media during April Fools because I've in the past I've fallen for a few of those things and I get super excited and then at the end it's like, what? It's not happening. How dare you? And then really the
Yeah.
only person I'm angry at is myself for falling for it and not realizing that it's April Fool's Day. So my new rule is I just stay off social media on that day.
Yeah,
That's a good
You
one.
know what? Not a bad rule.
All right. Well, let's go from one nighttime show to a different type of night. It's not Batman. Moon Knight. I am Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Watch out.
You know when the moon
Look out.
comes out at night,
And the moon hits the sky.
like a big pizza pie.
That's a
a
moon night.
Another
Ticky,
Italian.
ticky, tay, ticky, ticky, potato. Anyway,
So, Moon
they
Knight.
totally sing that song in Moon Knight.
First thoughts on the first episode of Moon Knight.
It's a ride. It is a ride, like from beginning to end. I don't know anything, but it gets your attention, and the way that you're thinking one way and something else happens, you're like, whoa. The way that the story is told so differently that is just, it's so unpredictable. I love it. And it's weird. I love it. I don't know why I find myself so excited about this one. This one kind of speaks to me a lot more, and I have, like, again, I know nothing about it, but it's just, I'm like excited for the next episode. And yes, I watched it at midnight. Worth it.
Whoa. Commitment.
I wanted to do that, but I think I was editing at the time, so I had to wait.
That's right.
Yeah, I had to wait, but it's okay.
I agree with Melissa for sure. It is a ride. I had no expectations. We were talking about the trailer. We're going to find about a character that may have these split personalities, and that is paying off quick. I think for me, just watching it aesthetically first, when I'm watching it off the bat, I really like how they're playing the character. I know it's been done in movies before and other sequences, but I haven't seen it myself, and this is a really cool way to where someone forgets where they are and then bam, it jumps right back on. Like there's scenes in this, not to spoil it for anyone, where he loses his first, what he thinks is his identity, his first identity, and jumps into this alter identity, and you don't see what happens in that, and then boom, you're right back into his first identity, and he's like so lost. And the way they do the camera shots and the CGI and some of the acting he did, just playing this off, just trying to depicts someone that really doesn't know what's going on with their own body. He did really well with that. And I just down to not thinking about his voice, himself being like a European British actor, but also, like in Ego, you find out that might not be even his real voice, which is the voice that other people know of as Ego. And Ethan Hawke, like, I really hadn't seen Ethan Hawke in anything for a while except like a scary movie a while back. And he's never been like my favorite actor, but man, he's really playing that weird villain actor real well. Just off the bat, I'm like, okay, Marvel, okay, you did your casting job again already. I'm feeling it again. I never thought Ethan Hawke would be in a Marvel movie. That's not, or excuse me, show / cinematic, whatever you want to call it. So those are my first takes immediately.
Yeah, it's got a lot of, you got to pay attention to this sucker. You got to be looking in the background. You got to look in those reflections. That's where like half the show is like, oh, did you see his reflection did this? Did you see that scary thing in the reflection? Did you see this, that in the reflection? When they're in the museum, a lot of that stuff's, you got to pay attention. And I'm sure I missed some of it because I started noticing it and I was like, oh, this, oh, that, oh, okay. So, and then, then what's the other guy? He's, they all kept calling him, was it Marc? They're like, hey, Marc. I'm like, what'd you call me? And he's like, give us back the body. Just let us do it. And then but yeah, and you really feel for him too, like, spoilers, when he's all ready and goes to the date and everything, and it's like you really feel for him in that, where he's like all excited to go and he calls her, he's like, to lose my number and all this stuff. It's
that is
you
a
really,
tough scene.
Yeah, you really feel for him there, but it does have the the lightness too, he's just like, I'm Steven and I work at a gift shop, and this he's like, Steve from the gift shop, give us back the thing and I won't kill you or whatever. So it's got it's got all kinds of stuff in there. It's got the comedy, it's got the the pull at your heartstrings, it's got the action, and you're only seeing a little bit of the action like you brought up. A lot of it's just like you're going from his perspective, and it's like he just kind of jumps from his consciousness when he has it to the next consciousness. So it's like all this stuff has happened in a couple minutes or whatever time he's missed. Now, you brought up the CGI. It made me remember a little bit of what looked like, I don't know, incomplete CGI. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. The car scene and on the mountain, I was like, that was a little rough. I don't know if it was they're trying to rush it out. They're a little bit behind on the episode or what, budgets or whatever. But a lot of the, all the character stuff looked great. That one car chase, that was looked like a Grand Theft Auto or something. But
yeah.
But other than that, I mean, besides having a weird thing happen there, the show's fantastic. I'm excited to see what comes of Steven of the gift shop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you all make some really great points about it. I feel the same, that I didn't really know what to expect, other than the fact that in the trailers it looked like it was going to be pretty gory. And surprisingly, in the first episode, I feel like they kind of delivered on that. I think there was a lot of moments that, although you don't necessarily see them, you know that it's there, right? The way that they're depicted is clearly, it's very well shown. I think it's funny that superhero lore is so based on just general belief systems, and Eternals was really heavy on that. Like, I think I enjoyed Eternals a little bit more than others did, but this seems to be really connected to Eternals in a way that it's like a lot of the lore isn't coming from like alien beings or anything like that, or, cosmic rays or anything. It's rooted in religious beliefs and the traditions of those religious beliefs, right? So this is really Egyptian gods and goddesses and how things were handled when people would pass away and stuff like that. And Eternals had a lot of that as well. So it's interesting how it's beginning to how it's beginning to unfold in this series. I like the aesthetic that they chose for this. Like you said, some of the CGI looks pretty bad, but you could tell that for when it really counted, they spent the money on those shots.
Exactly.
Those,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one scene was weird, the rest of it was like flawless.
Yeah, when it counted, yeah, they delivered on those. And the way that they reveal the character, just the way time passes, the whole thing, man. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I was trying to figure out what film it reminds me of, where there's these like weird passings of time. I have like a film in my head and I just can't put my finger on the name to say it, but there's another film that has like these weird like points in time where there's these like shifts in time, and I don't know. Maybe the movie people in the group can help me think of that. And if you can't, then watch, we're gonna stop recording and be like, I was this
All the time.
right.
It
Yeah, I don't
happens.
know, but
It
that one
happens.
lady, like that one lady at the I guess it was like a couple minutes in, she was like, I don't feel so good, Mr. Skark, and just dusts away.
Now you know that
I
was
mean,
it.
a little more
Yeah.
gory than that, but yep, that was the movie. It was Endgame, or Infinity War.
I'm excited about what else is coming for this series, because in episode 1 I didn't know much about Moon Knight, and now he's like one of the most interesting characters in the MCU, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, so what do we know so far? Right, he's got like the dissociative identity disorder, and now we're like trying to figure out like who is he, like, oh, there's this like connection to this Egyptian god. And I want to say I'm not giving anything away because Andrew already threw out the spoiler thing, although I
Spoiler.
should
This
have
is a
said
spoilery
that
thing.
again. Sorry, I'll put it in the intro, that way we know, that way we're kind of
Yeah.
covered. So
There you go.
yeah, people
This
know
is the
that it's
reminder.
going to eventually be in there. But yeah, so I mean, there's all these things that are happening, and so he's got this like weird connection to Khonsu. Is that what it is? The Egyptian god of the moon?
I believe so.
There's several references to like different gods and different entities and stuff like that, and there's like all these like ways for you to make the connections, on top of the fact that I do believe that they speak about not Anubis.
Mhm.
They do talk about Anubis, right? They talk about Amit, which is the like kind of show. Amit was like this like dog looking creature thing with like the head of an alligator and like a hippopotamus like
There's
back
at
or
least
something
there's
like
at
that.
least 5.
Yeah, it was. What is it? I had to read about this because I didn't know what it was. The Devourer of the Dead. That's what it is. And so the creature that apparently attacks and stuff like that is part of that. The story and the mythology and all that behind it. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the promo shots of what's coming in some of the other episodes, and it looks like at some point we're going to get like more of the Egyptian deities represented inside of Moon Knight, to the point where like he's probably going to have this like crazy showdown with all of them as Moon Knight. Like it feels like it's like the one like the one deity that's rebelling against all the other deities, and so trying to make sure that they don't overtake the. I don't know. I'm like making this up in my head because I'm trying to like piece it all together. But
It's weird. It's awesome.
yes, I don't understand
the
it, and
ride.
I'm so happy that I don't right now.
Yeah.
Same.
It's all good. I had a question, and I asked Jerry this. Did anyone notice how these shows are becoming more intense? And we're starting with Wanda, going with Loki, and now this. And I was just thinking, I'm like, hey, this is getting crazy. I don't know if Doctor Strange is going to be crazy. Like, do you feel like it's going to be even more intense?
I think so.
It's it's. I mean, just with the bigger screen and the bigger budget, you would think so, and it's going to be at least more dazzling and more like of a spectacle, even if it's not as like I guess, gory or intense in other ways. You know, they could be, you know, similarly intense, but in different ways too. In because they're not. How shall I put it? I don't think they're on the same wavelength. These two stories, as like just how they're told and what they're going for. So they're probably, you know, they're just two different things to compare. So that I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I do understand what you're saying, though.
You know what I mean? Like,
I got you. I did. No, I completely got you.
My thought ran out. It just kind of poofed away.
No. What you're saying actually makes a lot of sense, because when you think about what's coming in Multiverse of Madness, there are infinite amounts of worlds that are going to be clashing into each other, right? And so one thing that we've always known about the MCU is that it's always been rooted in some kind of alien beings and some kind of like purple dude that wants to, you know, rule the universe. And, you know, so we've always known that it was these like alien beings. And so now, like I was talking about earlier, we've kind of shifted into this like religious belief system where now Moon Knight feels like it's more rooted in the real world, right?
Mm-hmm.
More than a lot of the
Right.
other shows. Like this one's kind of rooted in the real world, and it's going to clash into the multiverse in a way where more of these stories and origins and like timelines of what people believe in their own belief systems are going to begin to clash with each other after Multiverse of Madness. And so the spectacle that you're talking about, I think, is going to come in a way where Endgame, like Infinity War and Endgame, was a spectacle in itself because it was the culmination of the last 10 years of the MCU. Multiverse of Madness is really the crowning moment of the beginning of the next phase. Like Spider-Man kind of plays into that, but this is really what's kicking everything off for the next phase, because new characters are going to come from this, new storylines are coming from this, new worlds are coming from this. If everything that we're hearing about the X-Men coming, Fantastic Four coming, you know, it's spawning an entire new set of stories and worlds that we're going to begin to explore because of what Peter did. And I guess some would argue that it was No Way Home and it was the Spider-Man movie that did that. But I think in the Marvel universe, like Spider-Man plays a role, but it's not fully part of it because Sony kind of owns it. So they have to kind of take ownership and say that it's really the multiverse the Multiverse of Madness that's going to kick it off. So like, I get what you're saying. Like this film is going to take everything that we've seen, and now it's going to exponentially grow all the stories. And now, just like we saw with What If, we're getting a new season of What If, and we're going to get more stories.
Yeah. Also, before we end this conversation, I don't know where we're going, but Moon Knight is now appearing in Avengers Campus as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's going to be
Like
tons
the
of stuff.
day of, they're like, boom, here he is.
I think that's going to be the trend going forward, that they're going to have
Right.
that stuff ready to go, and as soon as something launches, that character is going to be a part of Avengers Campus, which is super cool, I think. So, all right, well, one last cool story. I know you guys love it when I talk about TikTok stuff that I saw, but
cool.
Considering that we're just talking about Avengers, we're talking about Moon Knight. I was scrolling through TikTok For You page, and this guy that I've seen before, who was creating different 3D models, like different helmets and stuff like that. He does such a really great job with a lot of these like Marvel specific like helmets and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. In a recent announcement just a couple days ago before we're recording this, I saw him post a video saying that he did such a good job that Marvel reached out to him on TikTok and they said, "Hey, we love what you're doing. How would you like to do this for us full time?" TikTok.
Wow.
Can it be a waste of time? Yeah, absolutely. But can it also be a really great way to elevate your career if you're really good at something, if you're passionate about something. You know, we talked about the artist last week, you know, with the keyblades and all that stuff. Like, I love that. I hope that becomes something. We recently talked about the artist up in Northern California who is drawing things outside of Pixar, and we hope that that leads to a job at Pixar as an animator. But when you see stories like this, where again, if you're passionate about something, you're good at what you're doing, and then you're offered a job doing something you love, man, that is the dream. And
That is.
I wish I remembered his name. I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm going to find it. I'll put the video in the blog post for the episode, podketeers.com/407. If they're on Instagram, I'll just repost it in our Instagram stories so that you could see it. But I don't know. Like, I saw the announcement and I was overjoyed for him. You know, like, he's so good at what he does that I was just super happy for him. So there it is, kids. You believe in something, work hard, get super good at it, and then your dreams will eventually come true. You'll do something that you love. And when you do something that you love, it's not work. I know that's super cliche to the adults listening, but it's true. If you're doing something that you love, it's not work. You enjoy it.
Yep.
Any final words aside from that before we wrap up today?
New episode of Quizzlyland this week.
Woo! Preview?
Yeah.
Preview?
We're talking ESPN. Got some ESPN information. We're talking John Ratzenberger,
Ooh.
Annette Funicello.
Annette Funicello?
Yeah, and something that happened during the Year of a Million Dreams. So
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So you know,
Taking
but
us
and
way back.
stay after the credits because I did a weird thing and I thought the episode was going to be short, but it's going to be extra long because there's stuff after the credits. So yeah, stick around after the credits and get some extra stuff.
Shoot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Anyway, yeah.
There you go.
Quizneyland.
It's a
Scene.
good tease.
Fun stuff.
Episode of Quizneyland. If you're not signed up for our podcast feed, then now's a good time because not only do you get Podketeers, but you also get Quizneyland. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Coming to theaters this Christmas, Santa L. Jackson. Papa's got a brand new bag.
Part of the Podketeers Network.